Welcome back to another episode here of What's Emmanuel Thinking. It's your boy Emmanuel here back again. Yeah, man, it's been a good time, man. It's the change of the season, as we know. It is getting quite chilly out there. Um, but that's the name of the game, man. We are at the tail end of the year. Whew, it's been quite some year, man. It has been wild. I don't get political on here, so I'm not going to start today. But we know what's going on in the world, man. It is high time that I just want to start out with, just everybody love everybody where you can. You know what I mean? That's the best we could do right now is be kind to one another in person. So let's just do that. Let me get that out the way with all the corny stuff before we get into the rest of life, man. And the rest of life is just as ridiculous as it's always been. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, apparently there's this list going around of a group of ladies saying there is places that you should not take a woman on a date. Okay, so if you are dating a woman, they said there's a list of like 32 places that you should not take a woman on a date. Some of the highlights on there is the Cheesecake Factory, Olive Garden. Um, Dude, there's a whole bunch of different hookah lounges, coffee shops, Starbucks. Look, let me tell you something right now, okay? That list has been brought to you by single women with no prospects. Yes, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, okay? Because I'm telling y'all right now, ladies don't like that list either. This is look. There's this like subsection of people, and it's men and women that live in this weird space where they feel like they can make rules that others have to adhere to, but they have no ground in which to make these rules. What do you mean places you're not allowed to? How about you get asked out on a date first? You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. That look, and it's funny too because I read the list, and bro, those are my go-to spots. I think that's why I was so hurt and offended. Those are my go-to spots. You know what I mean? Every time I look, I have a strict rule. Okay, whenever I go on a first date, it's always to coffee. It's always coffee. Coffee date, always. Okay, the first date ain't even really the first date. That's just an initial meet and greet. You know what I mean? That's just meeting the prospect. The first time you're chatting or whatever, this, that, and the other. Yo, cool. If you chatting day one, man, boom, right away. Yo, let's go grab some coffee. There's a couple reasons why I say go grab some coffee. It is the perfect date scenario. Okay, it's the initial meeting. Okay, low cost, low investment. You could do it midday. You don't have to waste your whole night. You know what I mean? So if things go bad, you didn't waste a night on this stranger. You know what I mean? You're costing, if you're buying the coffee, what, $10? Maybe they want a pastry, another $3, $4. You're in the whole $15 worst case scenario. And you get to chat, you get to talk to these people. And the good thing about a coffee shop, it's a place where you have to be cordial and polite because there are people around. So then you can find out if you're around someone crazy or not that doesn't know how to be in public. That's number one. Coffee shop, always. That's I tell all my homies that I'm like, yo, don't be taking them out to dinners and doing all this stuff on a first date. That is second, third date behavior. Honestly, third date behavior for me. You know, so first date, coffee shop. Second date, actually, yeah, second date. I like the progression of the day. You know what I mean? Coffee is a breakfast thing. The next thing you do with your shawty is lunch, and then the third date is dinner. And then dessert. You know what I mean? Anyways, but that's what I'm saying. You gotta progress with these people, man. And if these little, I ain't look, I ain't going to that. Well, you ain't going nowhere. Then what are you talking about? What are you saying right now? If you ask a girl out on a date and she says, "Where are we going?" and then you're like, "Yo, we going to Olive Garden," and she's like, "I ain't going to no Olive Garden." It's like, damn straight, you ain't going to Olive Garden. Date retracted. I'm gonna go by myself. Bottomless pasta for me only. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Bananas. Oh, where are we going? I was thinking taking you to Cheesecake Factory. I ain't going to no Cheesecake Factory. You damn straight. You're not going to the Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake is only for me all day. Gosh, insanity. That is such a crazy behavior. These are people that are not home trained. These are people that don't know how to deal in public. These are people that don't know how to interact with human beings as a whole. You know what I mean? And like, look, this whole earth right now, it feels like things are coming to an end. We got like, 15 years max by my calculation. Don't waste your time on people that don't want to go places that you want to go. Okay, that's just the rule. Even friends. We look. I'm at the point in my life where like I am always willing to go somewhere by myself. Okay, if I invite you somewhere, that's just a courtesy, right? Like I've legit had friends. I'm like, oh yo, I'm gonna go watch this movie. You want to come? I don't know if I want to watch that movie. Okay, that's cool. That's completely cool. I'm going regardless of whether or not you're coming. I just figured I'd invite you. You know what I mean? Because like whether you want to watch that movie or not has nothing to do with me. Okay, I'm going to go watch it, whether you want to or not. Straight up. That's what I do in life now. I'm here for my enjoyment, and my enjoyment is number one on my list. Okay, whatever's on your list, you take care of yourself. But my list over here is my enjoyments first. Okay, you know what I mean? And and especially in a world where like people are very busy, it's just too hard to organize schedules, man. Like trying to get together with friends, man, it is a headache now, man. Everybody doing their own thing. Everybody got things going on. So like you got to be willing to do stuff on your own, man. I realize a lot of people like think that's weird. I didn't realize that for the longest time. I used to, at a young age, I got used to going places by myself. Okay, at a very young age, like literally, like probably like 20 years old is when I started like going to movies solo. I go watch movies by myself in the theater. Because it was just easier. I could do what I want. You know what I mean? It's way and by the way, it's a lot easier to sneak stuff into the movie theater if you're by yourself, because they don't check you. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I go to movie theaters and allegedly I go in there before you could buy liquor at the movie theater. I have a little Mickey on me. I just go there get a Coca Cola, some popcorn. I'll be in there sipping, drinking, having a good time, man. Solo dolo on my ones. And that's the other thing too, man. I like people don't realize like that whole thing about dating is just like, yo, you gotta like yourself first before you start going out with other people. Cause if you don't even know who you are, how you gonna try to introduce a stranger to somebody else? You know what I mean? Like you gonna end up on a blind date and you're the one that's blind. You gotta find yourself first, man. You gotta find yourself first. I'm not here to teach you how to find yourself, but I'm here to tell you that you need to. A lot of people out there in relationships, out there in the dating world, and wondering why it never worked. It's because you don't even know who you are. You have no north light for yourself. You have no idea what you want out of yourself. So how in the world are you going to find out what you want out of somebody else? That's crazy behavior. That doesn't even make sense. That math doesn't add up. You know. And I get, and people are worried, like, oh man, I gotta find somebody. Look, don't worry about it. There's single people every age, every single age, every age, bro. There's single people coming up every day. There's a new crop of solos all the time. Don't rush. There's no rush, okay? Unless you want kids, and in which case you got like if you're a girl, obviously you got a little bit quicker timeline. But it's bro, we're in the future, man. So eventually you're gonna be able to have kids up until you're 80, man. Like, don't even worry about that. I don't know why you'd want a fresh kid at 80. That'd be bananas, man. Word to Al Pacino. But like that's all I'm saying. Like it just seems outlandish. But if you want one, whatever. But I'm just saying, find yourself before you find somebody else, because then you gonna mess around and just like not have a good time. That's all it is. That's all I'm saying. You know, and open yourself up to new stuff too. That's the other thing. Look, you need to trust other people's interests. Sometimes the most fun I've ever had is finding out something new that someone else has introduced me to. You got to be willing to explore this life, man. You can't just be doing the same thing every day. And you know what I mean? Because that's how people end up in situations where they do talk about, oh man, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, well, like go explore what you do during the day, man. You know what I mean? What do you do every day? Do you do the same thing every day? Is it very mundane? Do you switch it up? Do you feel stagnant? Do you feel like you're in a rut? Well, switch it up, man. You know what I mean? You roll out of the bed onto the left side, maybe tomorrow it's the right side. You know what I mean? Switch it up. Maybe you just hop out of bed, jump off the top, top turnbuckles. Switch it up for yourself. It's good stuff, man. Like, look at me. Look at me. It is nighttime. I'm drinking coffee. Keep myself up. Delicious. Black only, like me. But yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, man. You gotta keep life fresh, especially in this last couple months, man. It's getting dark right away. It's getting dark right away. The fatigue is setting in. Not only just like day to day fatigue, but like end of year fatigue. You know what I mean? Like you've been at it for a whole year. You've been chasing stuff you want to do, working, grinding, this, that, no vacation, shit paid, double shifts, all this work. It's settling in, man, but this is where you got to really buckle down. You got to buckle down. They say it's like the end of the year, but like December is really like December. Nothing's going on in December. No one's really working in December. You know what I mean? Like everyone's this next couple weeks, this November, people are busting their ass because they know nothing's getting done in December, so they try to do twice as much work this month to get over the next month. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's important to just make sure that you taking care of yourself in this last quarter here, man. It's crazy. Yeah. No, it is. It has truly, like I said, been a nice time. Eye opening, eye opening endeavors into life, man. I've aged a tad. I'm now 30 years old. We out of the 20s now officially. I don't know, man. I gotta say, being 30 is the one thing that I will say is that I do not know what's going on. Uh, I remember being younger and thinking, man, those 30-year-olds must have all the answers. I can tell you right now, if there's a young person looking at me and saying, I have all the answers, I got some bad news for you. I got no answers. Matter of fact, I got more questions than I do have answers about this life. Okay, and the answers that I have are wrong. Okay, that's all. That's all I know right now, man. I have no clue what's going on with this life. At 30 years, man, nothing but questions. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. I'm Stevie wondering my way through this life, just trying to find a way. You know what I mean? That's all we do. Just like I said, but I keep it. I found a couple years ago just to keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. What I do for myself, I keep it simple. Two things I do: cover my bases, chase my dreams. Boom. That's all you can do. All the rest of this earth stuff, like there's too much going on for you to try to focus and fix everything. So focus on the little stuff you can do. Everything, all these big issues. You know what I mean? The existential dread, the war, the famine, the polar ice caps are doing whatever they doing. The earth is everybody's mad at each other. Focus on yourself and what you can do on the day to day. You know what I mean? What can you do on the day to day for yourself and the person next to you? What can you do? And find out what that is and then do that. And you'll feel so much better. Because to be completely honest, you're not gonna solve any of the big problems. You're not gonna do it. And I'm sorry to tell you, you're not gonna be the person to do it. None of us. I don't know anybody. I don't know who. I don't know who's listening to this. I don't know who's hear this or see this whatever. But you're not the one. I got some horrible news for you. You're not the one. You're not the one that's gonna broker peace. You're not the one that's going to solve the problems. And you know why? It's because you didn't like you don't start late. No, those that person is studying right now. The person that's going to solve a lot of the problems are in a library right now at the age of like 11. Like I said, this earth got about 15 years. So they going to fix it and then we're going to have a good year. One good year and then the aliens are going to come and wrap it up or something or Jesus somebody's coming. Somebody's coming. But like I said, you didn't do enough. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that I don't understand about all these issues going on. And obviously, I'm alluding to a specific one, but I don't want to mention it because it is a very contentious point and draws a lot of emotion on both sides. Uh, but like people talking about solutions, like they didn't fail social studies. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like these 60 average students over here are trying to have a point, and that's the funniest part to me about everything. Every time something like this pops up, I just see all these 60, 65 average students coming up with their think pieces. It's like, yo, my man, you had your chance and you lost. This is not your time to talk. Just quiet down. Do some research, sit down, ask some friends, talk side to side, but by no means should you be hopping on a microphone and talking that talk. You know what I mean? By no means should you be sitting on your high horse trying to degrade others and talk down to others about. Don't do that. That's not your place, you know. And the other thing too that people often forget in these situations is to consider the emotional effect behind all this. Okay, a lot of times people are talking from a very emotional place, and a lot of times emotions overshadow information. Okay, I've heard this quote before: feelings are not facts. Just because you feel a certain way does not mean it is the truth. Feelings are not facts. You guys got to consider that. Sometimes you need to step back from your emotions to be able to look at information unbiasedly before making a decision. If you just go based on your emotions, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be wrong because your emotions are the gut reaction to what you've heard. But without any research, and like most of the time, a lot of you people just read headlines. Y'all are some headline reading ass mofos. That's what y'all do. Y'all too busy because the human attention span has been dwindled down to like 15 seconds. You can't do more than read a headline. Why don't you crack open a book, read a news article, pull up an entire page, a couple think pieces, do your own research before you go on camera and microphones making decisions, telling people to suck their mutters and all this nonsense, and you upset and mad and talking trash about people, and then you bring in all the stuff from over there to your day-to-day life. That's crazy. The one thing that I always tell people, I'm like, look, no matter what conflict is going on overseas, don't bring that here because it doesn't need to be here. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna voice it because it's very important. I do feel it's very important, man. Israel, Gaza, Palestine, free Palestine, all that stuff. The one thing that I know that goes on in my city is I see people from both sides of that conflict coming and standing together. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see because the conflict's over there, the beef is over there, the war is over there, the fighting is over there, but over here we can still broker peace. You know what I mean? Instead of the effects of the overseas changing the way that we act, why don't we try to flip that on its head and they look around and be like, hey, how come around the globe everybody is peaceful? What are we doing wrong? Malcolm, take a look in the mirror. Because if I'm beefing somebody and I look over and I see that they're also agreeing with the beef, that gives me fuel to continue to beef. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like I understand there's way more factors involved into solving an issue like this, but the one thing that I think we could all agree on is there's no reason for that beef to be spread around the world like a locust. Mm-mm. I don't co-sign that. I don't co-sign that. I don't co-sign that at all. I don't co-sign being vicious towards people for no reason. I don't co-sign people, insulting others for not understanding. You know what I mean? This is a complicated issue. If someone doesn't understand, don't get mad at them. You know what happens when you get mad at them? You isolate them and you push them further away, and now you're losing an opportunity to educate somebody. You know, people are so happy to dunk on somebody this day and age, man. Like I don't know when we became so happy to just make somebody feel bad. That doesn't make sense at all, man. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it's because I'm a stand-up comedian, and my whole everything I say and do is try to get a laugh. Except for this podcast, I keep this podcast pretty loosey goosey. I try to keep it just it's whatever. I just kind of talk. I don't put pressure on myself to be funny on this podcast. But like I don't know when in this life that we became so accustomed to dunking on other people. Like that's I will never get behind that. I will never co-sign that behavior in all these conflicts and all these issues. There's people that are on. It's a wide range of education. Okay, wide range of education on these topics. Where some people have a lot of information, some people just read the headline, and some people don't know what's going on at all. You know, But in these situations, you got to take the time. If you're one of those people that are educated, you got to look at this as an opportunity to educate someone that doesn't know what's happening. If they're commenting on it and they're incorrect, or they're having um, less than less than educated points or views, take that time to teach them. Teach them, hey, yo, look, yo, man, I saw you posted this, that, and the other, man. It's actually a little bit deeper than that, man. I'm sure you don't understand what's going on, so let me put you on, just so you have all information. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm a homie. I don't want to like you look, but bro, but people will. But this is what we do. This is what we. Oh, I'm gonna screenshot the message, and then I'm gonna make a video dunking on this person. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then people will look at me like a hero. Look, you're not a hero. None of y'all are heroes. Not one of you guys are heroes. Nobody's a hero. I haven't met a hero in my life. None of y'all are heroes. Y'all are assholes. There's a lot of assholes out here, but no heroes. Come on, man. A bunch of zeros. That's some bum behavior. Ridiculous. You like, and it's funny because the same people that will dunk on other people will complain about the ignorance in the world. But the thing is, the only way you solve the ignorance in the world is to pull back the sheet and provide information and enlighten them. If you meet an ignorant person and you leave that conversation and they're still ignorant, blame yourself. That's on you. I don't even blame that person. You know, if I get in an argument with an ignorant person, and all I do is dunk on them and show them why they're wrong and tell them that they're stupid and what they say is wrong and they're this and they're that and blah 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 doo ba doo bop bop boop skibidi boop beef. That's my fault. I'm glad they're still ignorant. They're supposed to be. You know what I mean? I've isolated them. You know, humans are very easy, simple creatures, man. If you give them the opportunity to be wrong, but find their own path to rightness, they will like that. But it's the ego. It's that people's ego, man. That ego is a that ego is an evil thing, man. The human ego is where a lot of people get tied up in preferring to dunk on somebody instead of educate them. And I just don't get it. I think that's one of the biggest issues that I do see going on, especially with something like this. You know what I mean? This conflict has been going on for a long time, and like I said, like I'm not even touching the conflict as a whole. I'm talking about the dialogue around it, how people are dealing with people talking about it. You know, when you see people in the streets, what are you doing? When you meet someone from across the street, what are you doing? When you meet someone on the other side of the argument, how are you interacting with them? How are you presenting yourself? Are you being vicious? You know, and like I said, I completely understand the emotion behind this. Some people are very close. I have close friends that have family members on both sides of the conflict over there. The emotion behind it is visceral, man. You can feel, it's palpable. People feel it. You know what I mean? But how are you coming to that? How are you coming to it with compassion and empathy? You know what I mean? How are you truly taking consideration of their perspective while still being able to deliver the information from yours without without becoming vicious, without bringing that home. That's all I'm saying, man. Man, I'm all for peace. That's just me, man. E-man's all about the peace, you know. And I hate to go from one very extreme subject to another extreme subject, but we gotta discuss um, Britney Spears' allegations on Justin Timberlake. I don't know if y'all heard this, but Britney dropped a book. She released a book. You know, I don't know if everybody should be dropping books. Jada dropped a book, Brittany dropped a book, and the thing about Brittany's book is she said she aborted Justin Timberlake's baby. And let me tell you something, okay? I don't think that baby was ever Justin's, okay? Because I don't know if you remember this, but Britney Spears was banging backup dancers, okay? So you're telling me that she had a wide range. She was going from backup dancers to boy band, like head of the boy band. That's a wide range of men. You know what I mean? I don't know what's between there, but there's sound men, there's producers, there's security guards, bro. There's a lot of men in between that. You know what I mean? Like, and when did she write this book? She dancing every day. I don't know what's going on. When she had time to write this book, and I didn't even know you could write books with knives. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought you had to use a pen. But anyways, that's not important. I'm just saying, man. But the one story that they did discuss is they tell a story about Justin Timberlake bumping into Genuine, and he got real excited. He say, "What's up, Genuine? Yo yo." You know what I mean? And look, that story is true. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that story is true because look, there's white dudes that have black friends and they get real excited by their black friends. When some white dudes just start getting in good with black people, they get so excited. It's the funniest thing to see, man. It is. It actually brings me joy to my heart because it's such an innocence. It's such a true bliss. It's just like, man, I got some white friends, and oh man, I got some black friends. Oh man, you know what I mean? They're just excited to be around, man. Man, my white friends been teaching me stuff, man. I've been telling this. I've been using this bit. It ain't even a bit, man. My white friends been teaching me new words, man, like cahoots. I love cahoots. That's my favorite word right now. I try to use it every day if I can. I try to slip it into everyday conversation, man. I use it just like a regular as word, man. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, man, I'm about to go after work. I'm gonna get into some cahoots. You know what I mean? What does that even mean? I'm gonna just get active. It's a beautiful word. It's a beautiful word. But yeah, it's a beautiful word. It's a beautiful time. You're beautiful. I'm beautiful. You know, and just be beautiful. You know, what I mean, like I said, in this hostile time, what you can do is be peaceful and love each other. Love that everyday man. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of What's Emmanuel Thinking. Catch you next time. Peace.